T black jewelry. I know I stand out, I don't need to try for it. I check the limelight if you don't think ahead quick. I tell them catch me if you can, I'm some gingerbread. Oh, I never ride solo. It's me and my chick looking like slow-mo.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Vince Bugs, and I got Mary on today, and Mary's coming back, but this time we're going to talk about her book. Before we were talking about her TikTok and all her stuff on Instagram that she was doing during the COVID that raised awareness to health and fitness, but today we're going to dig into her book, Eat the Fucking Pizza, man. We're going to get after it and talk about it, and then there's a couple other things I'm going to ask her because there's a lot of things going on in society today about, you know, sugar and all these conflicting things on what you should eat and what you shouldn't, eat. But Mary, how are you doing? Introduce yourself real quick.
I'm doing great. I'm Mary Schrank. I am a health and wellness coach, primarily coaching folks online, all over the world. Anywhere you are, I can help you.
All right. So Mary, you came out with this book, and me and you've talked before, but now you came out with this book, and I dove into the book and I read it, and there's a lot of information in there compacted in there. And so as we look at it right now, and you're on Instagram a lot and TikTok. So my thoughts are, and I would like to, get your feedback on, you see all the fitness stuff right now, products to buy on Instagram. And so then Christmas is coming. And so my attitude is to ask you this question is when people are asking you for help and you're giving advice and they can't afford to go to the gym or have that ability, to leave because they live in a region where it's just not advantageous to get out. How do you kind of guide them on what products or product that they could pick up? Because you got the walking treadmill, you got the running treadmill, you got the bike. So kind of when people ask you that question, how do you kind of facilitate that conversation?
That's a great question. Honestly, the very first thing that we all need to work on before we start working on the physical, the glam muscles, if you will, is this muscle right here. And
Cool.
So, and we can work on this muscle every single day and it won't cost us a single dime. But this one's the most powerful because our thoughts are so powerful. Our thoughts control our feelings control our actions, and the actions control the outcome and the results of our life. And dogs are hanging around.
Hey,
of course the UPS guy's coming.
Oh, no worries. I run into it all the time, but keep rolling.
But so honestly, mindset is so incredibly critical. We've got to get this right before we can do anything else. Second most important thing is nutrition. And so I haven't even started talking about lifting weights yet, right? So the second most important thing that we can do to be our healthiest selves is to have a strong focus on our nutrition. 80% of us being our healthiest selves is nutrition. And the number one most important component of that nutrition plan, water. Water. And so honestly, especially with the really busy holidays, I tell my clients, as well as anyone who comes in my path and needs help, I'm like, look, listen, don't use the busy word with me. I'll make you do 50 push-ups. We're all busy. But as it gets a little busier with the holidays, if you can't get the workouts done and get the meal planning and all of these other things that are so important, do two things. Work on this every single day and make sure you get this in your body. Half of your body weight in ounces per day up to 1 gallon.
All right. So you make some great points there. So on one of my notes, I'm checking my notes real quick. So there's a discussion that like 28 to 30% of the average American does not get after any kind of physical fitness or things that they need. So as you're going through it and you wrote your book and you had some key points in here. And one of your key points was, do you work out at home or do you work out at the gym? Mm-hmm. That was one point that you touched. So my take is it individual, how individual looks at things or what do you think?
Yep. You know what? Okay. So I ran a gym for 2 years. Okay. So it's not that I'm against gyms because I'm not. I think there's a time and a place. But if you've got a really cool tag on your key ring and you never use it, then that gym is not your jam. Okay. It's not your thing. And so what I tell people all the time, because I can tell you this from experience, the gym owner is not noticing and caring if you're not showing up. All they really give a SHIT about is if the month bill. Okay. So, and again, you notice there's a real common theme in the book that accountability is critical. So
I was going to get there.
We're going to get there in a minute. However, that being said, the gym is not holding you accountable because they don't really care if you come and work out. They just care that you got the tag and you pay the bill. But so it doesn't matter if it's the gym or the home, as long as you're doing it, you know?
Right.
And what I've found personally in my life, when someone introduced me to the concept of a home-based workout program, I was like, yeah, thanks anyway. I ain't doing no Jane Fonda BS. I need to go to a gym because that's where real people work out, and I need to get a real workout. And she told me, this was my personal trainer, by the way, who was going to lose me as a client if I started a home-based workout program. But it's a very long story short of why she was encouraging me to do that. She said, please give this home-based program 30 days. If after 30 days, it's not your jam, you can hire me back and we'll keep going. I haven't stepped foot in a gym for a regular workout since that day. And that was July of 2008. So
wow.
What I want people to understand is that, number one, I'm healthier at 53 than I've ever been in my life. So these cute little home-based workout work, and I'll challenge you to come to my house and do these workouts. They're not easy, okay? They're doable, but they're not always easy. However, if you're going to the gym and you're doing well and you're you got lean muscle in your body and all the things, keep doing what you're doing. Why would you stop doing it if it's working? But if you're not going and it's not working, then please be open to something different. If you want to change something, you got to change something.
Right. So you brought up a segue into it, accountability. And that's like all of us, man, the mental state of mind, and I was in the military. So, that's a big word in the military. Everybody needs to be accountable for their actions. Everybody needs to be accountable for their physical fitness. But, as we live in I call it the instant, easy bake instant world of the Western culture in America now, where everything is instant. People want instant muscles, people want instant everything. And here's the deal: there's no accountability anymore, and people are looking for Ozempic. People are looking for every angle possible to cut the time. And by next summer, I hope to be down to like 192 to be in a bodybuilding competition as a 60-year-old. So yeah. Guns out.
Yeah.
So that came to there came a price of 6 months of my accountability with no coach. It was a Vince Bugs issue. How do you get people over that hump? Because I'm going to tell you, when you're over 30 or in your 40s and you deal with the people that are within that range of 35 to 50, that's no easy task.
It's no easy task, but here's the thing to keep in mind is, and I had a little debate with another fine gentleman who was interviewing me on a podcast. We agreed to disagree, but everyone, I don't care who you are, everyone needs accountability. It doesn't matter how many letters are after your name. It doesn't matter if you're a personal trainer. It doesn't matter if you're a nutritionist or someone who does, stage competitions. We all have moments where we start to fall and we start to slip. And let me tell you something, as a health and wellness coach, and that's my profession, I have personal trainers as clients. And you know what they say to me? And this is such a great thing for us all to keep in mind. Just because I know better doesn't mean I do better. Okay, so just because you have the knowledge and you have the tools and the resources to be better doesn't mean you're going to use them. Okay. So it doesn't matter if you're working towards writing a book or a business goal or health and wellness. We need somebody who notices and cares when we're not doing the work. And they respectfully tap us on the shoulder and they keep us on that wagon. So that accountability partner cannot be anyone very, very closely tied to you, not a spouse, not a best friend. Because those people, not a family member, those people, their jobs are to love us no matter what, right? And so, the first time your loved one says to you, you really think you need to eat that? I don't know about you, but I'm going to punch the square between the eyes, okay? That's not your job. So I don't care if you hire me or not, but my point is that you need to find someone who is going to respectfully, directly hold you accountable. And there is a respectful way to do that. So if you've got a friend, your friend is going to be your greatest cheerleader. If you think that friend is going to be a good accountability partner, and that friend says to you, man, you've missed an entire week of workouts. Like, what's your plan to get yourself back, on track? And that pisses you off. That's not your accountability partner. That's not going to work. It's got to be someone who isn't quite attached to you that way. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Look, the whole book is about simplifying this healthy thing. And so find somebody And I always tell people, date them. Date your accountability partner for 30 days, because at the end of the day, you don't want it to be a complicated breakup. If they're not holding you accountable and it's not a win-win, like you got to really be holding each other accountable. Then just say, look, it was really great spending, this 30 days together, but I think this isn't really going to be the best fit. So, date them for a while.
I love that. So you talk about habits and rituals and actions in the book, and that was one like in chapter 2, and you talk about getting to the reward. So, but the thing is as a lot of adults who, if we're inundated with a lot of, and not the word busy, but inundated with a lot of distractions. And I guess that's the best term I'm going to use, distractions between like Netflix or whatever it is. And with that, how do you get those people to get through that first 30 to 60 days to 90 days of that, to get that habit, to get that ritual to, want to lose weight? Because I read it in your chapter and it's simplified in your chapter. Absolutely. However, I know human nature.
That's right. So there's a couple of things, Vince. Accountability. Okay, so if you're trying to build a habit, again, doesn't matter what the habit is. It could just be as simple as I've got to get this water consumption in, right? And so what's your mechanism to hold yourself accountable to build that habit? So first of all, you have to have the tools and the resources available to you to build a habit, number one. Number two, you've got to have a mechanism in place to make sure you're using the tools and the resources to build the habit. There's a million, there's so many good books out there, but there's 2 really good books that I actually refer to in my book that will help you with habit building. One is called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Atomic Habits by James Clear. It is profound. I mean, he talks about habit stacking. He talks about anchoring habits, and all of those things will help us to make the habits intrinsic. That's what we're looking for. We want these habits to become intrinsic. Brush your teeth, wash your face, go get your workout done, right? And so as you start to work on that habit and build that habit, you got the tools and the resources, you know what you're supposed to do. It's going to take time and consistency to make it intrinsic. You've got that accountability partner who's, as soon as you start to slip, like you said, life is getting in the way. You've got this person. So you're not falling off the wagon. You're just sort of slipping on the wagon, and then they're pulling you back up by your bootstraps, and then you're slipping a little bit. They're pulling. But I will tell you that in the book, I talk about, and there's been a couple times in my life where I felt like it was like an aha moment, where somebody shared something with me and I was like, oh my gosh, that is life changing. Yes. And this is one of them, and I call it Mary's 3-day rule. So, miss day one and make poor choices. Give yourself some grace, not a problem. Life in moderation. Eat the effing pizza, just don't eat it every day. That kind of thing. You miss day 2 of poor choices. You missed the workout. You made poor food choices. Whatever the thing is, day 2, give yourself grace. It's okay. You're a human, but you better damn sure be sitting down and figuring out, how are you going to make sure that you're back on track on day 3? Never hit day 3 of poor choices. And that's great. That small thing right there, you'll start to slip, but you pick yourself back up. And then you start to slip and you'll pick yourself back up.
All right. So, Thanksgiving's coming, girlfriend. Let's go ahead and tackle the beast of the East. All right. Thanksgiving's coming up. And, and people are giving themselves some grace. And I'm an apple pie kind of guy, or apple crisp kind of guy, and I'll eat a whole Miss Smith's apple pie by myself with some ice cream. Now, let me just be brutally honest. So how do you think you're kind of helping people kind of gauge that engagement during the holidays? Because it seems like Thanksgiving is always the beast in the room, and then a little bit of Christmas, but definitely Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, I do a live, I go live every single year, and I do my, top 10 tips on how to survive the holiday food fests, right? So they're feasts, they're fests, they're all kind of things. And so from Thanksgiving through New Year's, it's madness, right? It's either the actual holiday itself, it's the day after the holiday, it's the week after the holiday, it's the parties and the this and the that. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think I read somewhere that the average weight gain is about 3,800 pounds between Thanksgiving and
and you're inundated with the TV, commercials and things. I mean, it's coming at you now. It's coming
at you. And so here's the thing, couple things to keep in mind. Number one, these are holidays. They're not holiday weeks. They're not holiday months. Okay. You do not have a green light to overindulge for an entire freaking week because it's Thanksgiving. And so but on the flip side, the concept behind this title, there's a lot that went into this title. The reason behind the title is life in moderation. If we're not going to eat the effing pizza every once in a while, we're going to fail. We're setting ourselves up for failure. If you tell me that you went to your Thanksgiving dinner at wherever you have your Thanksgiving dinner, and you did not eat your favorite things for Thanksgiving that you normally put on the plate, and you're going to be so proud. I've had people say this, clients, you're going to be so proud of me. I didn't have a cocktail. I didn't have the cranberry sauce. I didn't eat the sweet potato pie. I am so angry with you. I can't even see straight. Okay. And I'll tell you why I'm so angry with you, because that is not sustainable. That kind of living is not life in moderation. It is not doable. It's not sustainable, and it ain't fun. Okay. So go to the holiday dinner. You don't have to get 3 plates full. We're not going to overindulge, but you're going to go and you're going to indulge. You're going to have stuff you don't eat all year long. You're going to have your favorite thing that's on that Thanksgiving table, and you're going to enjoy it guilt-free. You're going to feel like crap the next day. You're going to really be sleepy, but you're going to enjoy it guilt-free. And then the next day, your ass is back on track. The other thing that I will really recommend that you do, there's so many fun tips for the holidays. I could go on and on. The other thing I really recommend you do is wear tight-fitting clothes to this holiday function. Guys, wear a belt, and ladies wear maybe a pair of slacks or a fitted shirt. I know it sounds really stupid, but you are not going to sit at that table and eat 3 plates of food if you've got something snug around your waistline. You're just not, because we all know what happens, right? So you're going to be a little more cautious, but also that whole day leading up to whenever you're going to have this Thanksgiving meal or go to this function, make good choices. Like, create some margin for yourself so that because you're going to eat stuff you don't normally eat, you're going to take in more calories. So you know what? Have your amazing healthy shake. Get your workout done. Make sure you've got your water consumption going, right? Whatever's going on. And then on the drive to the function, or you've got people coming to your house, I would suggest if you're a protein shake drinker or meal replacement shake, have that right before you arrive, or drink about 12 to 16 ounces of water right before that meal.
They're going to help you be a little bit more fuller. It'll make you a little bit more fuller, or,
yes.
Oh yeah. Here's the thing. So I'm going to ask you this, and it's not addressed in the book, but kind of like, all right. So recently I've been reading a lot of stuff, and because I'm trying to work out toward this thing, is they say we need to add more creatine as you get older, and you need to add a couple of other different things. What tips do you have out there to give people on some things as they've gotten older that they need to add to their diet? Like women need to maybe add protein now, or different things as we age, but that's just to kind of help retain our muscles, because you can't retain muscle unless you work out. I mean, lift weights or do resistance training.
Right. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing with supplements. I am not against them. As a matter of fact, I'm very much for them. However, there isn't a regimen that is for everyone. All of our bodies are different. And so we have to consume what works best for our body. We have to consume and take in what our body needs, where it's deficient, what we're not getting on a plate. Okay. Because we all know that it's near impossible to get all the dense nutrients we need for our bodies on a plate. It really is truly near impossible. I would say unicorns can make it happen, but outside of that, the average bear is not making that happen. And so we really do need to embrace supplementation. But just because your favorite influencer on social media is touting a specific supplement and saying everybody needs this, that's so not true, man. Make sure that you're influenced by someone, but you're paying attention to what do you need. Creatine is one of those things where for years and years and years, it was kind of
taboo.
Well, it was misnomer that women need it. Everyone was like, women don't need it. It's for building bulky muscles and stuff like that. That's not true. So the ladies out there who really are focused on building lean muscle in their body, go ahead and have you some creatine, man. Test your body. You know what it really boils down to is testing our bodies. Test your body for 30 days and see how you do with it. I did use it for a little while, and I just stopped. It really wasn't anything I felt like I needed. It wasn't really making any changes for me, but it could. Ladies, 100%. Definitely consider some collagen. Make sure it is a high quality collagen peptide.
Hey, you walked into this one. So that's the question that, you know, that you just put out there, high quality. And I mean, I use Beverly's, this one product that I use, but overall, not pitching, but I'm just saying, is that high quality. How do you kind of really figure out there's so much? I mean, we got so many choices. It's just the market is inundated. So when you talk about high quality, or what are the certain, maybe if off the top of your head, if you can remember some of the key things you should look for if you're looking for high quality?
I'll tell you, I'm going to keep it high level for just in layman's terms, because we could get all super scientific that's what the health and wellness industry does. They overcomplicate this whole healthy thing. Here's what I do, and educating yourself is really important, but there are certain people out there that you look to, that you really, really trust. Like this person, you know that they are uber geek when it comes to like researching certain things, and you just really trust their opinion. I have a handful of people like that in my life. And so when I hear about like some new supplement or the latest and greatest, you know, I usually will immediately pivot to those people and say, hey, what are your thoughts on this or this or this?
Yeah, give me the rundown. Yeah,
and they give me their opinion. It's in the book. Anything, whether it's food or a supplement, the most important thing for us to look at is the ingredient list, not necessarily the nutrition label. Macros and micros, all of that stuff is important, but it's not as important as what is the actual ingredient in the item. So if you're taking a supplement, it's got a whole bunch of chemical BS in it. There's a lot of crap out there. There's a lot of garbage out there. I mean, these people are taking in snake oil. They're placebos. I mean, there's a lot of crap out there. So I would encourage you to avoid your GNCs and your Walmarts, and don't tell me you're taking this one because it's, you know, $10 at Walmart.
Right.
You don't want to put the money into something high quality. You might as well just not take it at all and just keep doing what you're doing.
Right. So, no, you're right.
Ask someone you really, really trust that is super, not just someone you like on social media that's an influencer that's probably getting paid to promote this product,
right,
but someone you know has put the time and the energy into promoting something. Now, that doesn't mean that those of us on social that are promoting a certain product don't have knowledge behind it being, first of all, I don't promote anything I don't absolutely love. I mean, but there are influencers who are doing that, and so you have to be careful. But just understand the ingredients, and as far as supplements go, figure out what you need. You don't need everything. You don't need a counter full of pills and powders.
Oh yeah, and absolutely, and that's the one thing I've learned to ratchet back. Now I will tell you one thing that's kind of shocked me about a couple of weeks ago. A person contacted me and DM'd me, and they go to my gym, or they see me in the gym, and they actually asked me. They were like, "Hey man, I saw you lose all this weight, and you're getting swole. What are you doing?" And and I told him, and he's like probably about 55, and I going through a divorce, trying to put his life back together. And then I just say, hey, this is the regimen I got. This is the pyramid. But one thing I was telling him, what it kind of, after I read your book, it kind of made me resonate, is that I wanted to ask the question is, why did you wait to have such a traumatic situation in your life to get back healthy than just trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle for yourself, regardless if you're with someone or without? Because I think it's like one of the things in life that so many people, if they were just working on their health mentally and physically, that they would yield better product and better production in life. And sadly, we as a Western culture in America, which I go to Europe all the time, I just see the difference. They'll eat, drink, and go walk 3 miles after they're done eating and drinking, eating in the evening, and Americans go and become sediment. So what kind of guy?
Why?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, go.
You know why? Because they view exercise as movement.
Yes.
Move your body. We view it as work out. Like, we got to go to the gym and work out, and we got to join CrossFit, and we got to be dying and practically killing ourselves in order to have a workout. You know, I'm telling you, it all goes back to this simplicity. We over freaking complicate everything. And it's no wonder people either don't even start, or they quit so soon, or they wait until they're going through a divorce and life is falling apart on them. And they're like, oh my God, I got to do something about this. But if I said to you, listen, I just want you to move tomorrow. What are you going to do to move? And you're like, you know what? I'm going to walk my dog a mile around the block. That is absolutely perfect. Right. And you know what? Of course, first of all, walking is amazing. Of course, I want you to do more than that eventually. But right now, freaking take a walk. And maybe a month from now, once you got walking sort of under your belt, maybe let's add some resistance to your muscles, because having lean muscle in our bodies is going to keep our bones strong, and it's going to keep us from falling and fracturing stuff. And it's going to keep everything like, you know, so much healthier.
Oh, yes.
But you know what? Just move. Just move. It's so simple. And then the other thing that drives me crazy, and this is what I really pride myself on. Sorry, I'm so passionate, but it's what
we're good. We're on it. You're on it.
I pride myself with my clients is one of the first things I ask them outside of like, what are your goals, is what do you like to do as far as workouts? Do you like boxing? Do you like Pilates? Do you like yoga? Do you like intense heavy lifting? What do you like to do? So when you, because it's not an oxymoron to enjoy a workout. It sounds like in the same sentence. Yes, in the same sentence, enjoy and work out. So when you align people with something they actually are going to enjoy, they'll freaking do it, you know? Or you go over here and you tell this woman who absolutely despises iron, you know, free weights, and you tell her she has to do some intense, you know, workout with weights. She's not going to do it, okay? But she tells you she likes to dance, and now you've got her doing some dance workout program. That's one of the reasons why I love this home-based system that I have, is we have the whole gamut. And so do gyms, by the way. Gym has a fitness. They probably have some Group X room, and I'm telling you, they probably got cycle and boxing and yoga and Pilates and bar ballet and weightlifting and all the things in there. So go check it out. You know, it's easier when someone's telling you what to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, yeah, but I think that's the thing is, and I was reading in your book, and this is that one thing is that you have to be around, I think changing environment and culture matter. And here's the sad thing about it is, there's some people and I can't shout them out, they'll watch my podcast and say something, but I go to the gym and there's some people that started when I started, and I've already watched them, didn't see results in 90 days. Already just like, hell with this, I'm done, damn it, it ain't working. And I'm like, well, I said, so it took you 3 years to pack on 100 pounds, and you're expecting 90 days.
That's right.
To get rid of the damage you did. And I told someone one day, in 30 days, you can pack on 20 pounds in 30 days, real easy. I said, the problem is it takes 6 months to get rid of what you put on in 30 days. And so, go ahead.
The other thing that they're doing is they're trying to outwork out a poor diet. So they're like, okay, join the gym. I'm busting my ass on this gym floor for 90 days and I'm not seeing results. Well, are you getting in your water consumption? Because do you know that this is, again, the most important piece to your nutrition plan is getting in half of your body weight in ounces per day up to 1 gallon. Vince, if anyone ever says that to you again, I want you to very politely just turn them and say, tell me about your nutrition. Tell me about your water consumption. Oh, and they're going to be like, what are you talking about? I'm busting ass weights at the gym. Yeah, but it's nowhere near as important. 80% of you losing that weight is your nutrition. So are you eating the effing pizza, just not eating it every day? Are you getting in your water? Like, what are you doing? The other thing is, as far as, let me go back real quick to you saying, you know, people fall, you know, they start out good and they're doing good, and then they're losing the momentum and then they quit. Is again, accountability. We'll keep saying that 100 times, but you've got to, well, first of all, you have to want it, right? You have to have a really strong why, you know, and your why can't be, I want to be healthy. Well, no shit, Sherlock, we all want to be healthy. So how are you going to feel when you are healthy? How are you going to feel when you lose that weight? How are you going to feel when you can put those jeans on that make you feel, you know, that you haven't worn in a really long time? The large majority of people are going to say things like confident, more energy, sexy, or whatever, right? that answer to that question is absolutely 100% critical in you sustaining your healthy habits, because the days you don't feel like doing the work, and we all have those days, myself included, yourself included, the days you don't feel like doing the work, you got to open up that jar and you got to let that sexy confidence, energy come out so you can smell it again and go, okay, pick your hard. What's harder? Not feeling those things and feeling like shit, or going and moving your body for 30 minutes?
And go to the gym.
And go to the gym.
I posted that on Instagram the other day in the morning. It was like, I was there and I was like, look, I don't even want to be here. This sucks. And then I went in. When I was done, I was happy, but I always kind of post those moments to let people know that I have down days, Mary. I mean, I actually have days where Vince Bugs want to tap. Well, I want to tap the hell out.
That's right.
Of the day.
But you know what? The other thing too is, and going along those lines, is just tell yourself on those days, you know, I'm just going to walk in there and do like 10 minutes. The chances of you only doing 10 minutes are this slim. But if you say to yourself, and it makes you feel better, like, I'm just going to go in there and bounce around a little bit, and then I'll be done. And you know what? At the end of the day, if that's all you do is 10 minutes and you genuinely did it, it beats 0.
Right. Yeah, right. So let's talk. The last thing I want to touch on is inflammation attached to menopause for women, because it seems, and I talked to a female bodybuilder at the gym, and she's probably about 55, almost hitting, you know, mid 50s. And we were actually just having this conversation, and she was talking about her struggle from when she was lifting, and then she hit menopause, and that her struggle from that is, what kind of advice do you give women that are going through that? Because it's funny is that now you look on Instagram or you look on social media in general, what you see on TV is it's actually being addressed now. And, you know, I was 80s kid in high school, whatever. So you look back in the day, it was never an addressed issue, but now it's become more prevalent to discuss, to say about these issues with women with menopause and working out. So if you want to touch on that before we get her, it'd be great.
Absolutely, I would. I'd love to. First of all, I'm a woman in menopause. I'm 53. I want to say something. I want to, and I will. I want to say this. I want to say a lot of things about menopause. I don't want people. I want these women to relate to me and not hate me, but I'm going to say it because it's really true. So I was a chronic yo-yoer most of my life. Okay. First of all, I grew up skinny as a rail, went to college and put 30 pounds on in 3 months. So I have a struggle story. Okay. And that was, my hair was falling out and I had acne all over my face. So I've been there. So when people look at me and they're like, you don't understand, you've never had an issue. Yeah, I have. Okay. I was extremely unhealthy. And then I was a chronic yo-yo forever. And then in 2008, I found this full wellness system and it rocked my world. And I've created consistency, and it just has completely changed my life. Yeah, changed your life. That being said, I'm healthier, as I said, at 53 than I ever was at 23. When I started rolling into menopause, which was about 1.5 years ago, I only knew I was in menopause because of my cycle stopped. And it had been 1 year, and that's the general rule, is if you haven't had a cycle in about 12 months. And then my blood work, I could see, my doctor could see from the blood work. Okay, because I had one symptom. What was it? And I know, don't hate me, ladies. I had night sweats. I didn't have hot flashes during the day, and I didn't have a decreased libido. My libido actually was going through the roof. Don't hate me on that one either, but it's true. I didn't have any of the other symptoms, the vaginal dryness and the irritability and the hot flash, all those things that these women, and the weight gain and the inflammation. I didn't know I was in menopause until my cycle started stopping. So anyway, the long and short of it is, obviously, as a health and wellness coach, I'm doing all this research because like attracts like. So not only am I physically going through this now, but all my clients are as well. And I'm like, I got to help them, right? Because even though I'm not dealing with too much of it, they are. Oh, okay. Couple of things to keep in mind. The reason why and I know this, I've had doctors tell me, but I also know this from research. The reason why I have very few symptoms is because I was healthy. I was so healthy. The healthier you are, and listen, it's not too late. So ladies, if you're like in the thick of it, you're not like, oh shit, well, I wasn't healthy beforehand, so I'm screwed. No. You can start to get healthy now. So clean up your nutrition, about 85% clean, start moving your body, get your water consumption in, and watch what happens to your menopause symptoms. Number one. Number two, So it's important for you guys to know. And listen, I'm not the only testimonial of that. Again, I have clients that are my age, and so I have other clients who they're not dealing with any symptoms either. Number two is, and this is going to make some women mad, but I'm going to say it anyway. I heard a doctor say this a couple of months ago, and I was like, sometimes hearing like truth is annoying. So it's really going to be annoying if you're dealing with a lot of symptoms. But here's what this doctor said. Menopause symptoms are real. So no one is saying you're making this shit up in your head. Right. However, we go into menopause like 52, 53 is the average age, okay? We go into menopause. We're also aging. We're also in our 50s. So some of these symptoms that are being tagged to menopause are aging things as well.
Oh, wow.
So holding on to weight and inflammation and, carrying weight around the midsection and libido issues and irritability issues and all that stuff, those are aging symptoms.
Okay, it comes with the territory.
Okay, you see what I'm saying? So, but as women, we want to say, it's freaking menopause, and everybody's all pissed about menopause. It's okay, but you're aging too, and these are some of the things that we're dealing with as we're aging. So I'm not discounting it. I'm just saying, so that's that. Inflammation wreaks havoc on our bodies. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. Inflammation is the cause of almost everything. Okay, you have an issue or a symptom, and it is probably 99.9% probability it's related to inflammation. Right. And so then the question becomes, what do we do about the inflammation? Well, number one, let's get the water consumption. That's going to help you with the inflammation, right? But number two, and this is a really big one. So if you've heard nothing I've said this whole time, please, please, please listen to me. Just because food is on the healthy food list doesn't mean it's healthy for your body. Okay.
Good point.
The first thing I do with a new client, the first 4 weeks, is we do a testing. We do a gut testing. And the reason why we do that is because I need you to take that list of healthy foods and I need you to test your body and determine which of these healthy foods are best for you and which don't agree with you. So I have gastroparesis. It's a digestive disorder. It just means that food stays in my stomach about 45 minutes longer than the average stomach. Foods that are extremely high in fiber, like broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts, they will send me right to the ER because they sit in my stomach, they blow up, and now I'm extremely uncomfortable. Broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts are extremely healthy foods for most humans' bodies, okay? Right. But they're not healthy for Mary's. So I need my clients to do the same thing. I need you, if you're listening to me, to do the same thing. Figure out which of those foods. So here's what happens to many of us, men or women. You're going through and you're like, okay, this is really frustrating. I'm eating healthier than I've ever eaten in my life. I'm moving my body, Mary. I'm getting my water in. I'm doing the mindset work so my thoughts are in line and all the good things. And I'm still either not progressing or completely plateauing or I'm putting weight on. Like this makes no sense. And you know what? This healthy food thing is BS.
Right.
So people think the whole being healthy is BS. But are you eating the right foods? And that's what it boils down to is you're eating healthy foods, but they're not the right ones for your body.
Right. So people have to kind of do a test drive on different things as they get older, and your body does change because there's foods that I used to like when I was younger. I can't stand now. I won't even eat them. I won't even consume them. My biggest one is, and it's the last thing, and I know you got to go and, and everything, but sugar. How do we wean ourselves off the total sugar bug? I mean, you got to still want some things that are sweet. Don't get me wrong. But how do you kind of get your taste buds to the point where you can get back to a little bit of normal, bland foods that are actually taste good again, because you've had so much sugar and put in everything. Like you go to a restaurant, they put sugar in. I mean, we're inundated with sugar.
Sugar is a really big challenging one because it's a very, very real addiction. And if you are struggling with that, you need to understand that, like, I don't get it because I don't have a sugar addiction. I have a carb addiction. I'm a salt carb girl. I like the sugar, but I can take it or leave it. But I understand and respect the sugar addiction. So there's a couple of things. Number one is good news. You can manage this. Okay, it's manageable. There's a couple of things you can do. Number one, you start to learn how to sweeten foods naturally. So you can take nice natural maple syrup. You could take honey. You could get agave nectar, stevia, which is a plant, sweetener. You can sweeten with fruit. which, you know, again, has natural sugars in it, but you can sweeten it with those natural sugars from fruit. Monk fruit is really healthy for us, and it's a sweetener. So when you start to learn how to create little something sweet in a bit of a healthier way, okay, so you're still getting something sweet without it being like full on table sugar, white sugar, which is so bad for us. But this is where it gets a little bit complicated, and I don't want to complicate it because I want to keep it simple. You have to also remember that if you're not taking in horrible sugar and you're taking in other things that are sweet, but you're still taking in too much of it, you're not reprogramming your brain and your gut to deal with sugar, or sweet, like the sweet thing, right? So you've got to try to decrease the intake of something sweet in order to reprogram your gut and your mind, okay, and your brain, because the gut and the brain are connected. And so you really do want to reduce that a little bit, but you can still take it in, have life in moderation, eat something sweet, learn how to make sweet things that are a little healthier for you, and then over time, what happens is you start to love the way your body feels so much when you don't have that in you, that you almost become more in love with that feeling than you do, I need something sweet again. So it's a gradual thing. It takes time.
All right. And my last thing that I got to touch it because of the holidays, the eggnog. Okay. So eggnog with the brandy. So, listen, I am so frustrated with some of the influencers on Instagram and, TikTok about alcohol. So here's the thing is, and I'm in general, I'm a social drinker. And now and then I do like a good wine, a good Cabernet, and I love now and then a good Kentucky Mule. And nice. Some eggnog with brandy. So my biggest argument all the time is, they're constantly like, it's bad for you, don't do this or that. And I argue back and forth with people all the time. It's like, if you're not getting, drinking heavily every day, there's nothing wrong now and then to enjoy the moment when you're out at a celebration. I know you hear that people bring this up to you, so I just want to get your take on that.
Okay, so once again, the title of this book. Okay, the title really could have just said life in moderation. Okay, because that's what it means. The point is this, and I'm hearing it with you. And listen, what they're saying is fact. Okay, fact is that alcohol is not healthy for our body. Fact. Okay, we're not disputing fact. But here's how I'm just telling you my professional opinion and my belief and how I feel about it personally, because I've thought about this. I've watched these influencers who are going no more alcohol, and I'm like, God bless you, good for you if it makes you happy. But I drink 2 drinks on a Friday night and 2 drinks on a Saturday night. Okay, and a holiday or some special thing that's going on. So I am fine. Okay, I am not. We are not. If you are a social drinker like that, like we were just talking about, I mean, you do you, boo. Life in moderation. Enjoy the hell out of a nice glass of wine. Don't get too twisted that you are going to die a horrible death because you have not cut alcohol out, but the rest of these people are. Now, if you have an issue where you're drinking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
you need to go get some help.
Get some help. That's a whole different ball of wax. And I'm not making a joke about it because I have clients who really struggle with this. But the other thing along these same lines is people say, well, what are the healthiest ways to drink, healthiest alcohol and things? I can give you those answers, not a problem at all. I'll keep it clear on the liquor side. Tequila, believe it or not, is the healthiest of the liquors. You start getting dark browns and now you're rolling into stuff that's not as healthy. And then on the wine side, your red Pinot Noir is the healthiest. Why? Because it has the least amount of lectins. Lectins wreak havoc on our gut. Okay, that's all complicated. Now let me tell you my answer. If I'm going to have 2 drinks on a Friday night and 2 drinks on a Saturday night, I'm going to drink it any which freaking way I want to drink it. Like, I like a vodka tonic. Okay. I have tried to go vodka soda because it's healthier. It's soda water. I don't like it. I don't even enjoy it. And I thought to myself, why am I going to drink something I don't even enjoy? Right. I'm only going to have 2 on a Friday night. So my philosophy is, if you're only going to have 1 or 2, get it the way you want it. Right? Just get it the way you want it. If you're going to have 5, 6, 7, and 8, yeah, you need to probably drink the water with the vodka, Right. Or don't drink that much. That would be really the best answer.
before I go, guys, here, Mary also has a store online, and you can go onto her Instagram and click on her tree link, and it'll take you down there, and you can go ahead and buy her products and get her book, and you can get her book on Amazon. So, Mary, what advice do you have for anybody out there before we get out here for the holidays? What's your holiday message?
Oh, I mean, we hit on so much holiday stuff, but please, please, please enjoy your holiday. Make the holiday a focus on family, on people. I mean, if you don't have any family, just make it on people. When you go to a holiday function, make it about the people and not the food. I understand that the food is really exciting. I get it. Go to the food buffet, make a plate, hightail out of there, go to the corner somewhere. And you know what? I know this is real hard. The introverts are going to go, what? But I want you to sit with someone you don't normally talk to, whether it's a friend party or a family party.
Right.
People are interesting, even if they're really weird. Like, that'll make the conversation even more fun and exciting because it'll be really weird and it'll be really interesting. So focus on the people, enjoy the food, life in moderation. And I forgot to tell you this. I don't know if I told you this, Vince, but I published a journal. It's called ROCKIN VITALITY. Okay. So the journal is the journal for the non-journaler. I absolutely hated journaling. I still do, except my own. And I needed to create a journal for people that also hate journaling, because journaling is really powerful. And so with the ROCKIN VITALITY journal, each day is just 2 pages. It's multiple choice. And essentially at the end of the day, we talked about habits a lot in this podcast. In order to build the habit, you got to be consistent. And so a journal helps you build the consistency so you solidify the habit. So the book and the journal are really nice complements to each other. They're both in the link in my bio, and they're both on Amazon. And
I saw it on your link tree on your Instagram. Hey, so when's your next event, and where are you hosting it at?
My next event is the 2nd annual ROCKIN Vitality Retreat. ROCKIN Vitality Retreat is a perfect fusion of 80s rock and wellness, because I'm a product of the 80s. And we do that on Siesta Key Beach right here in Sarasota, which is the #1 beach in the United States of America.
Absolutely.
And I spoil the absolute shit out of the people who come to this retreat. This is a high-end retreat. You're going to spoil yourself with your investment in this retreat, but I am going to pour into you like you've never been poured into your life. So I want you to visualize it's like sitting in a big mansion with me for 3 days and just allowing me to help you with all aspects of building these habits, creating your roadmap so you can go home and have goals, a roadmap to achieve the goals, and you're going to have a killer time. We're going to have a killer time together.
Hey, see, there we go. That's a great public announcement there. So we got that knocked out, because I knew you had an event coming up. So I want to make it happen.
I only have two spots left. So if you want to come, hit the link in my bio and get with me super quick, because it's almost sold out.
There you go, guys. Hey, so I just want to let everybody know you got to stay healthy, and Mary's a great source. So go on Instagram, tag her, get a counseling, have a conference with her, talk to her about your health, and maybe you can even set up a session. And with that being said, Mary, as always, it's a blessing having you coming on, and much love, girl. And with that being said, I say keep it rolling.
That's right. Happy holidays.
Hotter than hotter. Boy, me not look for no other, you know.
You and me on a